Hi, I'm the Nature Guy, and I'm here at Saguaro National Monument, which is just outside of Tucson in Arizona. And this is a desert. This kind of desert is called a Sonoran desert, or another name is the Green Desert. Now, that's not a desert. This is a desert. This place is so dry and so windy that hardly anything grows. It's just hot and sandy. A little cool at night, but when you don't have... Now, that other nature guy that just interrupted us is right. Some deserts can have so little rain that they're not green at all. In fact, very little grows, and you land up with those sand dunes like you saw. But a desert can get some rain. In fact, technically a desert is a habitat that gets less than 10 inches of rain per year on average. Some years they don't get any rain, but the average is 10. And so a Sonoran desert, or the Green Desert, gets between 6 and 10 inches of rain. And that creates a very green desert. And you can see that there's a lot of different types of cacti here in the desert. The main one is this saguaro cactus. They are cool. So the saguaro cactus are large. They're basically the trees in this forest. And you can see that these saguaro cactus can get up to 40 feet tall and weigh 1 ton. Now that's because what a cactus really does is store water. That little bit of rain that does come in this green desert is stored inside the body of the cactus. Now if we take a little closer look, we all know that cacti have these thorns. Those are really their leaves. So a cactus leaves are just these thorns, and the trunk of this cactus then becomes the green part and is the part that does photosynthesis, absorbs the sunlight, and produces the energy it needs to grow. Now inside each of these ribs that you see here is a core of woody material, like the trunk of the tree, but it's full of holes, and that allows it to store water. And this whole inside becomes like a barrel of water. And so by storing water, they can survive through the very dry, hot summers that occur in this area. As long as there's some rain, their deep roots that can go down up to 5 feet will absorb that and store it for later. Let's go try to find a piece of a dead saguaro so we can get an idea of what it looks like inside. So here's one of those ribs that I was talking about, wooden ribs that create the skeleton of the saguaro cactus. This one has died, and you can see that it creates a barrel, and that inside there's all sorts of chambers for storing water. Did I mention that these guys can live to be over 200 years old? And it takes 80 years to form the first branch. So there's all sorts of different types of cacti. This is a cholla cactus, and you can see all the segmented stems and lots of big thorns. And here's a patch of prickly pear cactus. They've got large, flat, segmented stems. Kind of looks like a beaver's tail. And on top of them, in the right time of year, you'll get little fruits growing. And that's where it gets its name, prickly pear. This one's called a teddy bear cholla. Not sure it looks much like a teddy bear. And we got a cool one here. This is called the fishhook barrel cactus. The cacti itself is kind of round, but you can see that the spines on these guys are really hooked. And so that's where it gets its name. You can see the fruits on this fishhook cactus are just beginning to form after the blossoms have died off. This creates food for lots of wild animals. So what does this green desert remind me of? Well, it just takes a few inches of rain to turn that kind of a desert into this kind of a desert, a green desert. And it's just like our lives. We can add a little bit of kindness to our friends and neighbors and those that live around us, and we can make a huge difference in their lives. We could maybe take someone who's lonely and help them have a friend. We could help someone who needs something, and with just a small gift can make a difference in their lives. We can tell someone that Jesus loves them and that can change their lives dramatically. So there you have it. Our green desert reminds us we need to work on little acts of kindness to make a huge difference.